owner building industry?
I've been a registered builder, domestic and commercial, for about 25 years, and in the process of time I've seen that the owner builder section of the building market has been increasing steadily. Currently in Victoria, over 30% of all building permits are issued by owner builders, and I decided a couple of years ago that I really needed to start moving into the owner builder part of the industry, because that was obviously where the growth was, and there was clearly a need that wasn't being addressed.
What are the major steps to owner building?
The steps to owner building would be very similar to the steps in building, period. What we try to do with owner builders is to lead them down a path so that they're fully organised from start to finish, and that all of the checks and balances are in the process and the system, just as if they were a professional builder. The reality is that an owner builder is a professional builder, they're just choosing to do it themselves in a management role. Building, as you know, is quite complex, so they still need to have all of the systems in place, all of the processes, all of the quotes, all of the management tools available to actually run their project successfully. Any of the larger builders have got these systems down pat, and that's why they're large project builders. An owner builder has to do the same thing, but on a much smaller scale. So the process for owner building is exactly the same as any other builder. You need to be very careful, you need to get all the documentation correct, and it all needs to collaborate very carefully to get a good finished result.
I know nothing about building.
Yep.
Am I getting myself into something over my head?
Look, you could well be. What you need to be able to do is to define what the process actually is in owner building from start to finish, and break those overall tasks such as the site assessment, the pre-design works, the concept drawings, your cost plan and budget, your final drafting, all the permit stage. You need to break all those stages down into a series of tasks. From there, if you're a reasonable manager, and most owner builders are management type of people, you may be able to see that you can well manage this project on your own. The trick is being able to plug into certain people in the industry who have some technical knowledge, and being able to access that knowledge at the right time. So the most important thing is to have a good process and a good system, so that you understand where to do all the relevant tasks, so we don't get the order mixed up.
Can my partner get involved with the management of the project?
Yeah, look, absolutely. What we found is that most of the time the ladies generally are, dare we say, better organised than a lot of the fellas, and they will tend to chase up phone calls, they will tend to do a lot of that sort of paperwork, and they're a bit more attuned into cost control and all these sorts of things, which are absolutely essential as an owner builder. We recommend that people don't even start until they've got all of their costs well and truly worked out from start to finish, and that they know that they can afford to complete the project. Now, this is most important for the finance, and it's also most important for their own management. And the ladies we found are actually much more attentive to the detail in managing that project on the paperwork level. The blokes are great out on site, and we love digging holes and getting dirty, but the ladies are fantastic at making sure that the paperwork flows and that everybody's getting paid.
What steps are needed to build a house within budget?
Well, it's quite a series of steps. I would recommend that you need to start off very, very simply on your site, and look at your site and evaluate all of the restrictions and controls that are on that site. Every site is different. They've all got various planning controls, they've got overlays and schedules from planning schemes, and that's across Australia. Some councils have amalgamated, which makes it more complicated. They've all got their own council rules. You've got the building regulations, which are state specific as well. There's all of the relevant authorities, such as the sewerage and stormwater authorities, which is often council, but sometimes it's another authority. You've got the power and the water and the gas, and all these other people that have got assets and rights to parts of your land through easements and all these other things. So there's a huge amount of information that needs to be gathered in the initial stages just to determine feasibility. So when we talk to owner builders, we talk more about feasibility, not about budgets initially. Let's just have a look at all of the issues that may crop up and try and put an estimate of a dollar value on them, and then start to determine if your project really is feasible, because you might just have the wrong block of land for the house of your dreams.
How do I know if I can save money by being an owner builder?
Well, you don't really know, other than being able to work out your costs accurately. You could pretty much assume that if a builder was doing a job under a building contract, he would work out all of his raw costs and would add, for example, 30 to 40% to cover all of his overheads and administration costs. As an owner-builder, you have raw cost plus no overhead. Now, theoretically, you could save 30-40%. The reality is, of course, that your costs are going to be more than the builders, because you won't be able to buy as good from the hardware store. Your trades will probably charge you more because they've never seen you before and probably never will see you again. So there's economies of scale that the builders can take advantage of. But still, you would expect to save probably 20% as a minimum as an owner builder if you're well managed and well financed. It's a big if.